What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Daryl D TV. I'm Daryl D. Check this out. I want to show you today 10 more of my favorite autograph rap album covers. Yes, I pulled out 10 more from my collection, and some of this channel is all about showing you some of my collectibles and things that I've acquired over the years, and I'm a big rap fan fanatic, if you will. And I want to show you some cool album covers that I got signed over the years. All right, so let's just get right into it. Um, some of these that I pulled out today are still framed. Uh, Ones I had framed a long time ago, or I put in frames a long time ago. And so instead of taking them out, I just kind of left them in there. So it might be a little glare, but I still want to show these to you. So, in no particular order, the first one I want to show you, one of my favorite groups of all time, one of the greatest rap groups of all time, and one of my favorite songs of all time. This is Goodie Mob, Cell Therapy. And if you take a look real close, you see all those cool autographs in there. And I was actually able to acquire this back in 96. I don't even think their album came out until 97. But in 96, there was a concert in Milwaukee, a huge concert called the Jam for Peace. And it was held at the Marcus Amphitheater, a big amphitheater sitting right on the lakefront. And Goodie Mob was one of many groups that performed that day. Now, the Jam for Peace, it was like basically a whole day long concert. It started at noon, it ended at midnight, and it would have probably 50 acts, somewhere around there. Some of the other people that was on this bill, if I remember correctly, there was Luke, Big Daddy Kane, 112, Chris Cross, MC Light, Faith Evans, Tribe Called Quest, MC Brains. There was a lot of groups, man. It was an incredible show. I guess the guy who used to do it, his name was Tony Fields, and he was originally out of Cali somewhere. And whatever station that he was at, radio station that he was at in Cali, he did them there somewhere. And then he ended up moving to Milwaukee and working for V100 FM, and he would do those concerts there. And I was able to go. I think there was at least 3 or 4 of them. And so this was the first one, if I remember correctly, where I had backstage access. Got to meet a lot of people that day. Monica, now that I think about it, and who else was back there? Just a lot of people. Houdini, whatnot. Anyway, I was able to get this from Cell Therapy. It was really crazy because they were like, man, it was like they were all mean mugging. They all looked like they were like pissed off and unapproachable, but no, it wasn't like that anyway. They were cool, signing for me. I love Goodie Mob. They are one of the few groups that, in my opinion, were just absolutely electrifying at their live concerts. There's nothing like it, man. This group is so incredible, and I'm so happy that I have a piece of memorabilia from that show and from these guys. So yeah, Atlanta Dungeon Family all day. Next up, this was, I believe this was 1997 as well, if I remember correctly. 96, 97. This was the Smoking Grooves tour, also in my hometown of Milwaukee. Another show that fortunately I was able to get backstage at, and this is the Fugees. Now, I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you look real close, there's my reflection in it. You can see in red marker, you know, those signatures. Sorry for the glare, but you can see those signatures back there. Um, this was a cool show. Me and a good buddy of mine, Professor Pitt, rest in peace. We had public access shows on MATA Channel 14 back in the 90s. So we were always trying to get in concerts and events just to interview people and get footage for our prospective public access shows. And my show centered more so around DJing and rap, and his show was like exclusively rap and more hip hop related content. And a lot of times I would run a camera for him and vice versa. So this was a show that we went into. We kind of just snuck in there. We had all this camera equipment, and we went in. We went there early. That's how we used to get into a lot of shows. We just mob in there earlier in the day when the security was real light. But long story short, we ended up getting kicked out. There's this one security guard that, there's always one that was tripping. And who are you guys? What are you doing back here? You don't have no passes, blah, blah, blah. And so we were waiting for one of the homies to pull the car up so we could put all our camera equipment back in the car. And this guy from the show, just some guy, was kind of walking around. He walked up to us and he was like, yo, what's going on? It was like, yo, what's up? We were supposed to, do some interviewing and some filming, and now they're kicking us out, blah, blah, blah. So he was like, oh, really, really? Okay. So then he just kind of walked off. Now, this was at the same amphitheater, not the same show, but the same amphitheater that where I met Goody Mob. So the backstage, if you ever been to most amphitheaters, the backstage area, the loading area is all outside. So you can see all kinds of people walking around. Well, we saw Wyclef walking around from a distance. So this guy that we were talking to, he walks over to Wyclef, and he, they say whatever they're saying. They were a little ways away from us. And then Wyclef just kind of walks off. So we're just standing there waiting for the homie to pull up. And next thing you know, Wyclef comes back from wherever he went. He goes to the one dude, starts talking to him. The one dude comes walking back over to us. And then he says, hey, sorry you guys can't film or anything, but here's 6 tickets. At least you can, here's 6 passes. At least you guys can stay for the show. So we were like, wow, really? Thanks. So because of Wyclef, and his brother, I'm sorry, I don't recall his name. I'm not sure we even got his name. But because of those guys, we were able to stay and actually check the show out. And I got to actually thank Wyclef myself right before he went on stage. There's a whole lot more to that whole story of just that whole show in general. But while we were, kind of standing around waiting, I was able to get everybody's autograph. I'll never forget, I was sitting down on the ground, and then Lauryn Hill was sitting up on the, where the 18-wheelers, they back up to unload. So she was like way up high, and I remember she comes walking out of there, and she was like putting some lipstick on, and I was like, hey Lauren, can you sign my record? She was like, of course. I handed it to her in a red marker. As you can see, the red marker was a poor choice. I should have picked like a silver marker, something like that. Anyway, real cool show. It was incredible. That's a whole nother story. But that's basically how I ended up getting my autographed Fugees record. Love this record. I had to take some of these off of the wall, by the way, just to show you guys. Next up, some arguably call him the greatest of all time. I have no arguments with that. He's definitely one of the best, one of the top, one of the greatest to ever do it. We're talking about Mr. Rakim Allah. Huge Eric B. and Rakim fan. Who isn't? You know, um, I've seen Rakim and Eric B. and Rakim so many times over the years. I think the first time I saw them was in 1987, if I'm not mistaken. And you know what is left to be said about Eric B. and Rakim? You know, two of the greatest that ever did it. Well, this particular autograph I got after I moved to Phoenix from Wisconsin. And when I moved to Phoenix, I was DJing for a group called No Question. One of the first shows we did with me as a part of the group was opening for Rakim. And I remember I got him to sign this during sound check. It was right after sound check, as a matter of fact. And well, it was a great day. I mean, Rakim, I didn't know up until that time that he actually DJs. So him and his tour DJ were kind of taking turns and doing like these little turntable tricks and whatnot. And yeah, it was a great day. It was a great night. I mean, we did a great job that night. And of course, Rakim killed it as usual. It was a great show, but he was nice enough to sign this record for me. And I've met Rakim probably 2-3 times over the years. But this one, this was the first time, and this one really was special because we got to share the stage that night. So that was a cool experience. Next up, one more from my frame stuff that I'm showing you tonight. Now this, as far as I'm concerned, is the greatest of all time. Yes, we're talking about Mr. Knowledge Reigns Supreme over nearly everyone. KRS. Listen, this is my favorite MC of all time. I have met KRS many, many times. Chopped it up with him a few times. DJ with him or for him a few times. And so this particular autograph, honestly, I'm not exactly sure when I got it. The year, because, you know, it's not like he put a year on here or anything. But I just don't know. I don't remember. I probably have 10 KRS autographed items, most of them being, you know, album covers. And there's no telling where this one is from. But make no mistake, that guy right there, you're looking at the greatest MC of all time, as far as Daryl D is concerned. All right? If you don't know, now you know. KRS. Yes! Boogie Down Productions. All right. Okay, so let's try to get rid of some of that glare. Now I want to show you some other ones. That was 4. We got 6 more to go. The next one I want to show you is one of the most talented, most respected DJs and producers in the entire rap game. I'm talking about no other than DJ Jazzy Jay. And this is one of Jay's compilation albums that he did. I definitely got this signed in New York at the Crotona Park Jams in Crotona Park. Jazzy Jay is there every single year. It's usually his sound system that they use up there. So every year I get to chop it up with Jay and just kind of grab something else for him to sign. I have another. I have a lot of other things signed by Jazzy Jay as well. Also, if you look down here, it says Diamond, as in Diamond D. Yes. Now, why is Diamond's signature on there? That's because if you go back there, you look real close, that guy right there, there's Diamond D. Now, as I told you, this is more of a compilation album where Jazzy Jay just had a lot of different people. So you got Ice Cream Tea, she's on here. Ultimate Force, which was Diamond D's group. Y'all So Stupid is on here. Raheem is on here. Uh, New Sounds. Tony D. D Ice. And Grand Wizard Theodore is on here too. I should have had him sign this when I had the chance. There's Theodore right there. But I believe I got Diamond to sign this. If my memory serves me correct, I believe it was here in Phoenix when he was doing the DJ gig here. And when I pulled this out and asked him to sign it, he got so excited. He was like, Jazzy J, Zulu Nation. He's the one that flipped it over on the back. It was like, there I go right there, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like these guys have so much respect for Jazzy J. I remember hanging around Brand Nubian in the Bronx at a show one time, and they were raving about Jazzy J. They said they were performing that night at this little club, and it was sort of a Crotona Park after party type of thing going on. And they say, yo, man, Jazzy J's the first guy we went into the studio with. If Jazzy calls us up and he says come, we come. You know what I mean? So they were, I hear people speak so highly of Jay, and he's a real down-to-earth, really cool, laid-back guy. If you get a chance to ever meet him or talk to him, you'll see what I'm saying. But yeah, mad props and mad respect to DJ Jazzy J and Diamond D, one of my favorite producers. All right, well, I can put this over here. All right, next up. This might be, in my opinion, probably the greatest, not the greatest, the most underrated rap group of all times, or at least one of the most underrated. They're one of my favorite rap groups. You know, when you in that conversation about the greatest rap groups of all time, this group needs to be in that conversation every time. You hear the Wu-Tangs and the De La's and the Tribes and, you know, groups like that. But I'm talking about the Alkaholiks. Yes, indeed. This is one of the greatest rap groups of all time. Definitely, I'm not into all of those lists and this, that, and the other thing. But if there was a top 5, if I was forced to give you a top 5, this group would be in it. Now, this particular record I got signed in 1997. It was right after the Liquidation album came out, and they were in Milwaukee doing a show, and they had an autograph signing, if you will, that afternoon. I believe that was at Atomic Records, if my memory serves me correct. Atomic Records on the east side. I think it was on East Oakland, if my memory serves me correct. Somewhere over there. Anyway, they came out. If you ever been around the Licks, you know them the most fun group of guys, the most down-to-earth guys ever. They're like always on, you know, always on that hip-hop tip all the time, man. And they were mad cool, and I got to chop it up with them. Got autographs from all 3 of those guys. And after talking and them kind of, you know, really figuring out, you know, who I was and what I was about, they actually gifted me an promo instrumental version of the Liquidation album. Wow, what a wonderful gift from the Alkaholiks crew, man. I never forgot that. And I just thought that was like really, really cool. I think it was J-Ro, if I'm not remember. Either, yeah, it had to have been J-Ro or E Swift, one of the two. They were like, man, hold on, man, I got something for you. And they went and they pulled this out and gave it to me. I was like, wow, thank you, man. That was a pretty cool gift to get some vinyl, you know, promo vinyl that a lot of people didn't have at the time. Not this. back in the day, 1997. That was a good year for rap music. One of my favorite years for rap music, um, ever, ever. Now, if we go back to that same Jam for Peace concert in 96, I believe it was, 95, 96. No, 96. Yes. Another group that I met there, I believe that might have been the first time I met and hung around these guys. One of my favorites. Rest in peace to Ecstasy. Yes, we're talking about Whodini, y'all. And I was able to not only get them to sign my Big Mouth 12-inch, but I was also able to co-interview them with the homie DJ Rock D, rest in peace, backstage at the Jam for Peace concert. And I did a solo interview with DJ Grandmaster D, from which he appeared strictly on my public access show back in those days. So, and it was really cool. I have that footage. Eventually, when I get it transferred and can get it onto my computer, I will be posting that footage right here on this channel. But for right now, you get the Big Mouth autograph. Unfortunately, Grandmaster D's not on the front with them, but I definitely have his signature right there. This was, oh, wait, I made a mistake. It says right here, 2005. So that wasn't the Jam for Peace. I believe I have the Open Sesame album autographed. That's what it was, the Open Sesame. This was a lot later. This was 2005. Let's see. 2005. That means that this was signed here in Phoenix at the Celebrity Theater, I think. Or this probably might have been on a visit back to Milwaukee, where Whodini was performing with KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, and Kool Moe Dee and the Treacherous 3. I believe that's where this was signed, but I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, this is another group that I've been around a handful of times, so I have several autographs from them as well. So I might be getting some of this stuff mixed up, but I do know now, taking a closer look, that it was from 2005. Whodini, love those guys. Seen them many times live. Okay, now here's a really good one. This is just one of my favorite record covers, period. Rap record covers, period. This is Public Enemy. The last video like this, I showed you a Public Enemy autograph record, and this basically, I got this autographed at the very same show when they were making an appearance at a comic book shop back in 2006. So here's You're Gonna Get Yours, Rebel Without a Pause, 12-inch. I never forget when this 12-inch dropped. It was huge. And this was in between the first and second album. And this particular time, they were on tour with X-Clan. And as you can see up here, we got DJ Johnny Juice. You want to know more about that guy, go back and watch my other video about my top 10 autographed rap records. I kind of talk about him. And so to have him, the original scratch DJ on the album, Chuck Flav, and we can't forget Professor Griff, the most hardest of hardcore of that group. This is just a sweet, sweet piece of rap art right here. Love the cover, love the signatures. It doesn't get too much better than PE. You know it and I know it. Next up, this might be the coolest group of guys ever in rap. Some of the coolest, at least. We're talking about no other than the Hieroglyphic Crew. And this is the Third Eye Vision album. Now, I've been around these guys many, many times over the years. So nice. You know, what's crazy about this record is as many times as I've been around them, I don't have everybody's autograph on here. There's some people that I don't have on here. So I see J Biz, I see Casual, Festo D, Opio, A Plus, and Dell. But I don't have anybody else, and I've been around all those guys a zillion times. Why I never pulled this record back out? I'm thinking maybe I thought I had all of their signatures on here. And if you look at all of my Hyro records, I have several signed by the Souls of Mischief. I showed you one of those on the last video. I think I did. Pep Love many times. Dell many times. Casual many times. Why they're not all on this record, I'm not sure. So I guess I got some work to do. No telling when the next time I'll be rubbing elbows with those dudes, but I might have to bring this back after I finish getting the rest of those signatures on there. We'll just have to wait and see, right? Okay, last one that I want to show you guys. I would describe this as, man, maybe the most important rap group. I don't know. I just love these guys, man, so much. This is one of my very first introductions to rap music. This is Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. And this record, I know that I've gotten these autographs at different times over the years. So unless somebody put a year on here, which I just see one, there's no telling where I got all these. So let's start with, didn't I have Flash sign this? Grandmaster Flash. Yes, there he is right there. That's his signature. It's kind of hard to see. And then we have Raheem. We have his signature. We have Melly Mel. And Melly did put 1998 on there. So where did I meet Mel in 98? Oh, right after I moved here, when I was DJing for No Question. This was the very first show that I did with No Question, and it was our record release party for the Eclipse album. And Melly Mel and the Sugar Hill Gang and No Question all performed together that night. Man, incredible night. That's a whole nother story, but that's where Mel actually signed there. And then we have Scorpio down here at the bottom. But then if you flip it over, you see Dynamite. And Dynamite told me, he said, I'm going to sign this for my brother Cowboy. So if you see, it says to Daryl or to D, don't push me. Then it says Dynamite, and it says for Keith Cowboy. So this is another one where I've been around these guys at different times, never all together, you know. But this is one of my favorites. I'm a huge fan of Kid Creole. This guy right here. I hope he's doing well. Rest in peace to Cowboy, of course. And, of course, Melly Mel and Scorpio still tour to this day. This is a great piece of history. And I got to actually hang out on the same corner where the same light pole is in Harlem and be at this historical spot where this picture was taken. As a matter of fact, I believe this is somewhere in the area of 123rd and St. Nick. Let's say it's within a block of that area right there. So there you have it. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. And there you have it for another top 10 of my favorite rap autograph album covers. Thank you guys so much for joining me. There's a lot more where that came from. Thank y'all for continuing to check out the channel. I'm having a good time sharing all of my experiences and cool hip-hop stories and tales with you guys, and I hope you keep rocking with me. That's all for now. Until next time, we'll see you soon on Daryl D TV. Peace and love.